He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Bad joke, how he really feels. Either way, Donald Trump not apologizing to Senator John McCain. He says that it is the Arizona senator who owes an apology to the Arizona voter. Joining us now is chairman of the Maricopa County Republican Party, Tyler Bowyer. Very good to have you with us. You were in the room. How did those remarks go over when he first said them about why he wasn't a hero just because he had been caught?
Well, you know, those remarks weren't said in our event in Phoenix. They were said afterwards. But, you know, some of the commentary that was made on Senator McCain by Donald Trump was warmly received. And I think it just goes back to the Arizona voters and Arizonans being keyed in on the issues. And that's one of the main reasons why I think we had so many people there in Phoenix last week anyways. They were interested in hearing Donald Trump talk about immigration, which I think would be any presidential candidate that came to town.
So you think that what he said about the POWs, that people just took that in stride, is that he's angry at John McCain for how he's dealing with this issue, and it wasn't about veterans and POWs and disrespect. That's your take.
Well, I mean, I don't look at what Donald Trump says. I don't follow Donald Trump's Twitter and hang on his every word. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we spent as much time hanging on the words of, let's say, the woman in Planned Parenthood this last week, or focusing on all the failed immigration policies that the Obama administration has really supported. Whether it's the sanctuary city policies, the catch and release issues that we have now today. And so, I don't focus necessarily on what Donald Trump is saying all the time, but what the voters are interested in talking about, which is clearly immigration.
So then, for you, it's not so much a Trump fascination. It's the issues that he's outraged about, that you want to hear more about, and he's become the proxy. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, what else could draw 10,000 people in Phoenix downtown, right? I mean, look, we have lots of characters showing up to Phoenix. We had Bernie Sanders do the same thing last week, and this is something that's really important to Arizona voters. It always has been. Immigration to Arizona is like, if a presidential candidate is talking about fracking in North Dakota, it's going to draw a lot of people, right? And so it's not necessarily about Donald Trump. It's not necessarily about John McCain and how they offend one another and offend Republicans. I'm a big believer in Reagan's 11th commandment, that we shouldn't speak ill about any other Republican, whether that's our Republican voters or other Republicans running for president.
Wow.
And that's one of the main things that I think we need to focus on. That's the path to victory for Republicans today.
Donald was also talking about religion a little bit this weekend, and maybe that's why he is rejecting that 11th commandment. Bernie Sanders, you mentioned he showed up. He got over 10,000 people who came for him as well. So is there a commonality to what people are hungry for out there in your state?
Well, and that's part of the reason why we do what we do in the Republican Party, is we provide opportunities for voters to engage the presidential candidates. I mean, what other place could you have Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders attract the amount of people that they have all in the same week, downtown Phoenix? People are interested. They want to hear out the candidates. They want to know who they're voting for. And they want to have a discussion about the policy issues. And that's where, I'm from a new generation of Republican leadership. I'm one of the youngest in the country, and being in my 20s, I'm interested in talking about what's going to move this country forward. And I think that's what most voters want. I mean, quite frankly, that's what they want. They want to know what are these guys who think that they're going to be president, what are they saying? And so that's the key issue right now. That's what's going to unite and galvanize the Republican Party, is hearing that out and having, providing more opportunities for people to show up and talk.
So if Trump is starting the fire, metaphorically speaking, do you think he winds up in for the long haul? Is there a chance he gets your vote for President of the United States?
Well, as far as I haven't made any decisions, but regardless of who's going to be the presidential nominee from the Republican Party, we have to talk about these issues. And if it's Donald Trump that's starting the conversation, that's healthy for Americans to be able to voice their opinions on issues like immigration. I mean, immigration, this is one of the key topics.
Right. Does it bother you that he doesn't have any fixes when he talks about the topic? That he says it's a problem, he says it's broken, he says it's terrible, but he doesn't say how he would fix it. Is that part of the conversation that you want to have?
Well, once again, I'm not focused on Donald Trump, but we have some solutions out there that are viable and they're great. I mean, right from Arizona. In Arizona, we have Congressman Matt Salmon, who's sponsoring two bills. One is called Grant's Law, the other is Kate's Law, that does isolate the immigration issue and talks about solutions. So there's tons of solutions that are coming out of the Republican Party right now for fixing the immigration, the border security problem. And that is where we need to focus our attention. And, you know, if Donald Trump's going to be the fire starter that starts the fire and the flame is carried and more people learn about those issues, that's great. That's a great thing for the Republican Party, and that's a great direction that we're going.
Tyler Bowyer, thank you very much. Good luck with your discussion. We'll be following it as it goes along with the election. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Have a wonderful one.
Allison.
Okay, Chris, this morning...